Heed my words, struggler. Soon a rain of blood, the likes of which you cannot imagine, shall fall down upon you. It will be a storm of death. But take heed, struggler. Struggle, endure, contend. For that alone is the sword of one who defies death.
At the current moment in the story of Berserk, Guts finds himself in a rather interesting predicament that we haven't seen before, in a situation where he could no longer use his own willpower and the sword to power through it. A person on the brink of giving into his own inner darkness, or even possibly falling into full despair, which he has, therefore possibly activating the Beylit. Honestly, the possibilities are limitless regarding what could happen to Guts' character in the next few chapters. However, one thing that's very important now compared to how he was in the Black Swordsman arc are the people surrounding him, and how each of those characters I think could try and help in bringing Guts out of the state that he's currently in. Now, I'll get these ones out of the way. I don't think in this scenario Serpico or Isidro are really capable of doing anything for Guts, especially in comparison to the other 3 to 4 characters, which would be Farnese, Shirke, Puck, and the Skull Knight. Now, when it comes to Shirke, we've seen her before reach and sort of pull Guts out of the state that he's in when things get out of control with the Berserk armor, so I think that's something that's going to be very, very necessary, along with the help of possibly Farnese and Morta, who are also going to be able to provide some sort of magical assistance, although Farnese, up to this point in the story, I don't know how much she could possibly help. It's very clear that Farnese has had sentiments with Guts throughout the story, however, her sentiments for him, I really doubt could serve as some sort of replacement or a band-aid for what he's currently lost with Casca, as well as a realization that his own strength does him nothing. Now, the other character that I think could possibly also be thrown into this, and honestly, the more that I think about it, the more I think it's going to be a combined effort on all of their parts, is a way to reintegrate Puck and his importance with the relationship that he had with Guts, considering that Puck was there with Guts during his darkest moments back in the Black Swordsman arc. I think Puck could probably serve as some voice of reason, reaching out to Guts as well, along with what I think Shirke and Farnese will also be doing. Now, I mentioned the Skull Knight for a very important reason, and I saw that there was a source talking about Mir wanting Skull Knight and Guts to have a confrontation, and honestly, me and Real Life Ryan have been thinking that's sort of what it might lead up to in the story due to a conflict of interests. Now, whether or not that source is credible or not, who knows, but I do think that if things were to go south and Guts were to give in to the Beast of Darkness and the Beylit, no one else there but Skull Knight really stands a chance in beating Guts and calming him down. And so it might take the combined efforts of a verbal sort of pulling out with Shirke, Farnese, Puck, and as well as a physical beating from the Skull Knight in order to snap Guts out of whatever current state he's going to enter. But that's just a possibility regarding what all the characters are going to do and the trend in which the story of Berserk is going.
You really are one to leave things to chance. The luck of the devil, the fish that can breach the water, more than a shadow. Guts is a man that has built a lot of confidence, and why wouldn't he? He's escaped death more times than he can count, fought dozens of demons half naked, born under a tree in his mother's afterbirth, and Guts has been different, always, but deathly human. A walking contradiction that exists in the space between our world and the world of ideas. The man has been ordained by God to die and has escaped death at every turn. But when God came down to confront him, he was powerless. That is truly why Guts is so broken right now. Never short on hardship, Guts lost the only thing that he's ever had to rely on through those hardships, his confidence. However, I believe in that is the key to how Guts will be saved. You see, Guts isn't alone anymore, and I believe it's the next lesson he needs to learn. He needs to be reminded of that fact. To defeat despair, Guts needs to be reminded that he has shoulders to lean on. While I agree with the Masked Man's assessment that Serpico and Isidro will more than likely prove as insufficient reason to quell a possible Berserker armor emergence or a Beylit sacrifice, I don't think anyone short of Casca can singularly be that. Characters like Farnese and Shirke have undeniable connections to Guts, but it's not enough. You see, I think the connections are still very one-sided in many ways. For all his love for the party, I still see the moments that show how hard it is for him to still open up. they admire and love Guts, and Guts equally respects and loves the party in a lot of ways. But there really is only one character that I see within the party that has the necessary emotional connection to help the Black Swordsman. However, he has his own section later. For now, consider that Shrike and Farnese have a role to play as magic users. Shrike has demonstrated the ability to restore Guts' senses while he is in the Berserker armor, and that is an invaluable role as it eliminates the primary issue at hand, the most dangerous one, which is an out of control Berserker on a sinking boat. However, in keeping with the theme of the need for teamwork at this point in the story, I don't think they can do it alone. Skull Knight will probably be needed to buy time, as he's the only character outside of God Hand members and Zod that are even conceivably able to contend with Guts in his berserker state. The necessity of this fight lies within the fact that magic in Berserk requires time to use. They have to leave their bodies to go towards the Berserker armor in their astral forms to interact with Guts' soul, which obviously leaves them open to any number of things the Berserker armor could do to them. However, that being said, I do believe the party has adequate firepower and abilities to be able to bring Guts back to his senses. Let's say the worst possible case scenario happens and the Baelid activates. Who's going to be able to talk Guts off that ledge? Certainly not Skull Knight and his cryptic wisdom that he constantly throws around. And neither will the girls, for many reasons that I feel like I've already outlined. The only person I believe capable of this feat within the main cast would be Puck. He's seen Guts at what would probably be now his second lowest, the Black Swordsman and Lost Children arc, and basically single-handedly brought enough light into his life to push the shadows of the Beast of Darkness away. That is how I believe Guts will be saved. Talked off the ledge once again by his first companion. Narratively, he makes the most sense in a lot of ways as well. He hasn't done much in the story in quite some time. I believe Puck's character does need this, and I believe that one more big win for him will firmly cement him as the MVP of the series. I think this is the most important moment for Guts moving forward. And I think this is when he will be reminded that the connections that he has built do have merit and they do matter, and that he still has a lot of strength to lean on.
So given all that, I would also like to formally thank the Masked Man for the collaboration that he's doing with me. I'm a really small channel, so I can't really do much in terms of trying to drive traffic to his channel, but I would like to tell any smaller creators that if you do want to collaborate with him, he does seem pretty open to it. I mean, I have like 80 subscribers. So just someone of that stature being willing to help me out, it means a lot. He's a sincerely cool guy, and I don't know. I guess that's it. And I just want to say I appreciate him. I appreciate him doing the intro for this video. And if you haven't, and somehow you stumbled across me first, please go check his channel out. Anyway, guys, have a good day.